Welcome back to the channel, guys. As always, thanks so much for joining me. So, this is the year of Warner Brothers. Their last 7 movies, yes, their last 7 movies have all debuted to over $40 million at the global box office, which is just insane. Now they have another movie to add to this list. The Conjuring Last Rites becomes the biggest global opening horror movie of all time, surpassing It Chapter 2. This is crazy, man. I mean, the Conjuring franchise has been around now for a long time, and every time a movie comes out, people enjoy it, they have fun with it. Is it Shakespearean? Is it Oscar caliber? No, but people enjoy these films, and they make ridiculous amounts of money because the budget for these movies is so damn small. But what we're going to do, we're going to check out a tiny bit of this article, then we're going to go over to some X posts, we're going to check out Rotten Tomatoes, and we're going to take a look at the rest of the franchise, the box office, and see how this movie compares to the other movies in the franchise. So, we're going to start off on this article here from comicbookmovie.com. The Conjuring Last Rites makes horror movie history with the biggest global opening of all time. I mean, they said that this was going to be the send-off for the Warrens, this was going to be the last Conjuring movie, but after this result, I think Warner Brothers is going to be back making another one of these movies in a hurry because it's generated so much damn money. So, The Conjuring The Last Rites has surpassed estimates this weekend, making horror movie history after taking in a massive $194 million worldwide. That is such an insane figure. It almost doubled its estimates of how much money it was going to make. So it's just crazy, crazy stuff. And now after this massive opening, take a look at this, guys. So if we go over to X from Culture Crave, a Conjuring prequel film is reportedly in the works. I mean, how quickly did that news come out that they're making another Conjuring movie? Like I said, when you get a movie that's that impressive with the amount of money that it's making, there's no way you're not going to make more of these Conjuring movies. And it looks like a prequel film is reportedly in the works. Whatever that means, a prequel movie, I'm not exactly sure. But as long as it has some horror in there and it keeps to the tone of the franchise and they make it on a small budget, I'm sure it will do just as good as the other films in its franchise. So, moving on to this next X post here from IGN, this is kind of what we already talked about at the start of the video. So, after The Conjuring Last Rites scared up $83 million domestically at the box office this weekend, Warner Brothers has officially made history with its last 7 films all opening above $40 million. That is just an insane track record. I already said it's the year of Warner Brothers. They've done incredibly well this year. Hats off to them, the people working there. They've just made a lot of money and they've just been putting out some great films. I mean, look, we've had The Conjuring Last Rites, which made $83 million. We've had Weapons, which was at $43 million. Superman, $125 million. The F1 movie, which made $57 million. Final Destination Bloodlines at $51.6 million. Sinners, $48 million, and a Minecraft movie, $162 million. So again, hats off to Warner Brothers. They put out some great films. Whether you like all of these films or not, you can't deny, man, the track record speaks for itself, and they've just done great work when it comes to their opening box office figures at Warner Brothers. So, up next, if we take a look at the Rotten Tomatoes for The Conjuring The Last Rites, we can see the tomato meter, which is obviously the critic score, is sitting at 57%. So it's kind of split down the middle. You know, half of the critics liked it, half of the critics didn't. But when it comes to the popcorn meter, which is the audience score, that's almost 80%. So almost for every 10 people that saw this movie, pretty much 8 of them out of 10 enjoyed this film, which is a really great thing to see. But I always find it funny when there's that huge discrepancy between the critics and the audience. The audience is what counts. They're ultimately what matters. They're the one that pay for the movie. They pay the tickets. They're the ones who, conjure, pun intended. They're the ones that conjure up the box office. So, ultimately the popcorn meter, in my opinion, is more important than the tomato meter. But yeah, so 57% for the critics and 79% for the audience score. So what we're going to do now, we're going to check out a couple of positive reviews and a couple of negative reviews just to see what people are saying about this movie. Okay, so up first, from the Times here in the UK, such subtlety has largely vanished by the final reel, sadly, but this is still a suitably shiver-inducing farewell to the Warrens. Okay, moving on to a negative review here from the San Francisco Chronicle. One reason why The Conjuring Last Rites is so uninteresting is it takes 1 hour and 21 minutes for the Warrens to agree to enter the haunted house that we all know they're going to enter from minute 1. Okay, moving on to our second positive review here from IndieWire. Last Rites has a sense of humour and that's worth watching. if you're up for a laugh instead of a scream. And finally, moving on to our last review here, this comes to us from Commode and Mayo's Take on YouTube. I don't mind bunk, but what I mind is 135 minutes in which half of it is sub-poltergeist Oompa Loompa, Uba Booga, Schlock, and the other half is Oh the Warrens. Let's be real about this, the Warrens were the best kooks and at worst, con men. So, with that down, let's quickly jump over here to the numbers and take a look at the franchise and see what kind of figures we're talking about when we look at the Conjuring franchise here. So, some of these numbers are just ridiculous beyond belief. I mean, so the average movie in the Conjuring franchise costs $27 million to make. And on average, they make almost 260 million. So, every single movie in this franchise almost makes 10 times its production budget. 27 million to make and 200 and almost 60 million in box office revenue. Almost 10 times for every movie. That's why you can understand why they keep pumping these movies out. And I mean, look at this, right? So we have the Annabelle movie here. It cost $6.5 million to make, and it made 256 million. That is the most ridiculous box office return on investment I think I've ever seen. $6.5 million, and it made 256 million. That's just insane. I mean, we've got The Conjuring, that cost 20 million, and it made 316. The Conjuring 2 cost 40 million, that made 320. So, I'm not going to go through all these numbers, guys, but you can pause the video if you need to and read through it. But these numbers, the amount that it costs to make these movies against how much they actually produce at the box office is just insane. The Curse of La Llorona, 9 million, and it made 123. That's more than 10 times its production budget. Just insane. And obviously, coming to The Conjuring Last Rites, the movie we're talking about, production budget of 55 million, and so far, this is at the moment, it's made 194 million. So it's made over three times its production budget already in the first weekend, which is just, it's just crazy, man. Something with this franchise, it just generates a shit ton of money. They keep the production budget at a reasonable level. They know how much money these movies generally make, and they know how much the production budget should be, and it's just a license to print money at this point, so it's crazy. But anyway, with that down, let's go back over to the article and let's read some more of this news here. So, after a much better than expected opening weekend at the worldwide box office, the final, we'll see about that. Yeah, there's no way this is going to be the final. No way, after how much money this has made. Installment in the supernatural horror movie series, The Conjuring Last Rites, has landed the biggest global debut in horror film history. Horror film history, the biggest debut. That cannot be overstated. That's insane. The ninth entry in the Warner Brothers and New Lines franchise, fourth in the mainline series, amassed 194 million worldwide in its first weekend of release, placing it significantly above Sunday's estimate of 187 million worldwide. This takes the movie past 2017's It, which was the previous highest horror grosser with 190 million. Last Rites has also set a new record internationally with 110 million debut, passing 2019's It Chapter 2 at 92 million. So it turned out to be a very good year for Warner Brothers, like we already kind of talked about. After the studio went through a rough patch with the likes of Joker Folie à Deux, man, that's one of the worst sequels of all time in my opinion. Mickey 17 and the Alto Knights. Warner Brothers has now made box office history as the first studio to ever have 7 consecutive films open to 40 million or more. So just insane. And we have a breakdown here of the numbers for The Conjuring Last Rites. So Friday it made 34.65, Saturday it made 30.4, Sunday it made 18.95, and over the weekend 84. 8th biggest opening of 2025, number 1 among horror films, number 1 among R-rated picks. Absolutely sensational. New Conjuring ended its opening weekend higher than estimates at at 84 million. That's more than Conjuring 1 plus Conjuring 2 combined. Will likely break 100 million at domestic box office on Wednesday after only 6 days. So this movie has made more than the first and second Conjuring movie combined already in its first weekend. It's just crazy, and it cannot be overstated how successful this is. But I mean, what is the reason for this massive jump in box office? You know, it's just outplayed all the other movies in the Conjuring franchise. What is it about this movie that's got people so excited to go out and see it? Is it because there's not much else at the cinema at the moment? Or is it because horror's made a kind of resurgence in recent years? We've had movies like Sinners, which have kind of gone a great long way to kind of getting people back interested into the horror franchises. And I guess we're getting closer to Halloween at the moment as well. I mean, Halloween's just around the corner, so maybe people are trying to get their early fix of Halloween movies here as well. Maybe that's kind of helped. But yeah, I mean, I tip my hat to Warner Brothers and the people who worked on this movie. Congratulations on their success. They've done a great job, and fans are really happy with what they're seeing with this movie. So guys, jump into the comment section. Let me know what you think about this. What do you think the reason for the massive box office revenue of The Conjuring Last Rites is? Is there any one particular reason? And have you seen the movie? What did you think of it? If you do, put your comment, guys. Please don't spoil the movie for other people, but just let us know what you thought of it if you have seen it. And as always, leave your thoughts, comments, opinions, theories, and anything else you want to talk about regarding the Conjuring franchise. We would love to hear what you have to say in the comment section. As always, thank you so much for being here. Make sure you hit the like button before you leave. Consider becoming a subscriber of the channel to help support the content. But most importantly, make sure you hit that notification bell so you can stay up to date with all the videos we have coming in the near future. And you don't want to miss out on any of our great movie news content, guys. And with that down, as always, I will see you in the next video.